Good morning. I know I'm super early this morning. But I dropped my kids off and I'm driving back from drop off. It's my daughter's 5th birthday today. And I was just as I parked, I was looking for an email from a tutor. My son gets to have tutoring. And a website popped up and started playing in the background a video that I was watching yesterday about Ukraine and the refugee camps that are popping up or that aren't, sorry, my coffee is still kicking in. But I'm so happy to be here with you this morning this way. I feel raw this morning, and I think, when we're raw and when we're really feeling our true authentic emotions, we should share, and you should share too. So, and how there's no refugee camps in Ukraine, and there's people fleeing, millions of people fleeing. I think they said 1 or 2 million people fled from Ukraine over to Poland, and there's no camps like anywhere. And then that's not even talking about anything internally. And my intention is not to start your day out sad. And my intention with this message today is to really honor how you're feeling about what's going on in the world right now, because when we don't honor what's really happening, and when I'm talking about like what's happening on a deep level inside of us, it starts to build up and trickle into areas of our life that we don't even see, like maybe your business, right? And that's why I said maybe this is one of the reasons your business isn't as successful, is because you're bulldozing through things. You have a vision, you're excited, you're A-type, maybe you're like me, you're like, no, I'm gonna create this, and I've got this, and I'm committed, and I'm gonna whatever it takes, right? Maybe you're just like me. But maybe you're coming up against something, like you keep hitting a wall. And for me this morning, I just let myself cry a little bit for Ukraine, because what's happening is devastating. And I really believe, and this is through leadership and transformational work, that whatever's going on in the world, we're not only experiencing it, but we're creating it. And so my team's texting me. They have no idea that I'm live right now. Sorry, guys. I didn't tell you I was going live so early. And this goes for our families as well. So I want you to take a look at your family. We'll just use family right now because I've had major breakdown in my family, and it's mostly cleaned up now. But there's still work. There's still work to be done. So I want you to look at your family for a second. Think about your mom. Think about your dad. Maybe they're still alive. Maybe they've passed. I also want you to think about any brothers and sisters that you have and the relationships that you have created and formed with them over the years. Think about aunts, uncles, cousins, just your immediate family. And is there anyone in your family that you're not talking to for a specific reason, that you've pushed away, that you're like, I can't afford that person, or they're toxic, or you just have chosen not to speak to them for years? I was speaking to Monty, who's the performance coach inside of PPI for my company. And we were talking last night. He's staying with me right now. We were talking about his relationship with his mom, and how there was one point in his life where he didn't talk to his mom for 9 years. And I remember I didn't talk to my dad, my favorite person on the planet, for a year. All because of an opinion that I had formed, or because of a hurt. It really wasn't an opinion. Underneath the opinion was that I felt hurt. And so maybe you're going through life and you're frustrated this isn't working, frustrated that's not working, frustrated why, and you're blaming, and you don't mean to, but you really feel justified, and this is that person's fault, or you're blaming yourself for failing, or not knowing, or being confused, or whatever the dialogue is in your mind. I recognize that it's different for all of you. I just want you to notice it and pause for a moment today. And as you're watching this, and say, what could be underneath that? Because I promise you, what you're dealing with in life, any breakdown in your marriage, any breakdown in your relationship with your children, any breakdown in your business, any stagnant water that you feel like you may be sitting in, any anxiety, any depression, And I'm not talking about being clinically depressed. I'm talking about depression that ebbs and flows and comes and goes depending on your mood. That's emotion. Okay. It could be because you have these underlying heartaches, really. And we have a lot to feel brokenhearted about right now. Just what's happening in Ukraine. And so if you do come across something about Ukraine and you find yourself like flipping past it really fast because you're like, oh, I just can't even look at that. I ask you to experience it, to just try to be in it for 1 minute, because what is so important about your business, what is so important about you moving forward in life and you really having a 10 out of 10 relationship with those who are really important to you, having a 10 out of 10 relationship with yourself, is that you can put yourself in their shoes. Because without compassion and without those very intentional, conscious moments of, you know what? I'm going to sit in this sadness and I'm going to sit in somebody else's pain for a moment. That's when I heal. And so what's happening in the Ukraine right now is, I've heard this term before and I love it, so I'm going to use it. It's Lisa Kalman says this. She's a transformational coach in the transformational training world. She says, it's a shit scoop. And it really is. It's like, she describes it as an ice cream cone with a shit scoop first. Like it's like one just scoop of poo and then all of your favorite flavors on top. No matter how you eat around the poo, it is still going to reek of poo. And I'm looking at my puppies in my review mirror right now, literally taking a poo right now. My puppies are pooping everywhere. It's driving me crazy. But I say this morning because without recognizing the shit scoops, the poo scoops in our lives, God's really telling me not to swear. There's so many other words you could use without identifying that it's first identifying that there is poo on your ice cream cone. And without saying, you know what, maybe we should get rid of the poo scoop and start over. It's going to take you to actually do some work and identifying that, hey, this is poo. And what's happening in Ukraine right now is poo. What's happening in your marriage is poo. What's happening in your family dynamics and your relationships, it's poo. And you've got to sit down and be able to say, this is really pooey. And when you can just say that, you can just experience life on such a richer, more powerful level, because I can't even help it. I'm just taking you to church. I can't help it. That's how Jesus was when he came. And isn't that the ultimate goal, is to be Christ-like? Even if you're not a Christian, the goal should be to be Christ-like, loving, compassionate, and a leader. And so I suppose this would be a great opportunity for me to invite you to Lighthouse Leadership. It starts April 8th, 9th, and 10th. Like I said, you'll know if it's for you. So if you're sitting here and you're watching this, you're going, I think I have some of those poo ice cream cones hanging around, and maybe you've put sprinkles on it and it looks like chocolate. But then someone comes by and they're like, they can smell your poo. They're like, yeah, that looks like chocolate, but that is poo. And that's the thing, right? It's like, you can always smell it. You might not be able to see it, but you can always smell it. And so I really do. I invite you to come train your brain, come train your heart to clean up the poo, to learn compassion and love so that you can experience joy and freedom, and you can become a steward and a servant and a lighthouse for the world. Because what I'm noticing is that people are making choices right now, and they're really making one of two choices. They're making the choice to be the light, be the hope, and pay the prices of that, because it's not easy. It sounds easy, but it's really not. It's actually way harder than conforming to the ways of the world. And we are called to not conform to the ways of the world. And I promise you, if you are on Instagram and you are going past everything that's happening with Russia and Ukraine right now, and if you are just staying neutral with, well, I don't know, like, I don't want to ruffle any feathers, and I don't want to say anything, and I just want to be in my bubble, and I don't want to talk about that, that is conforming to the ways of the world. You must stand. You must stand. You must stand in the truth. Because there's nothing that hurts my heart more than when I watch powerful women who know God, who know Jesus through who know the Trinity, okay? You have experienced the Holy Spirit, and yet you're not using or trusting your voice around it. It breaks my heart. And I want you to know that I get it. I know very powerful women who steer away from using and speaking their truth about God and Jesus. But that's got to stop. And so let me be the one, maybe the first one, to call you forward into, you must share this message. You must. It's integral to the state of the world right now. And so we get to work for the kingdom. And that's what Lighthouse Leadership is doing. It is rising up leaders who will work for the kingdom. And like I was saying yesterday on my live, when you begin to work for the kingdom, it's like you're not even here anymore. It's like nothing can pierce you. No weapon formed against you. You know what I mean? And it's a peace that surpasses all understanding. Look at me. I must have been reading the Bible or something. But you know, he says when you get into scripture and you read something, it will never leave you. And you'll be able to use it when you see fit. So maybe that's another live. So today, my request of you is that you, if you're interested in Lighthouse, put Lighthouse so we can see you. We're so excited to launch the very first Lighthouse training. And also, if you need support in working out that poo scoop, that's you want to get rid of that smell in your life, but you're just really not sure how to do it, but it's affecting your coaching business. Then you're like, man, I've been trying to start my coaching program. I've been trying to scale. I've been trying to get my first 10 clients. Maybe you're doing You Are a Coach and you're like, man, I don't know how to get there. Then you can put coach down here too, and I'll get you a call with one of my coaches as well. Whatever you need, just please share what you need. That's one of the things that it takes to be a leader, is to powerfully request the support that you need. Okay, so identify what it is that you need and let me know below. I love you. I am excited for you. And my request of you is that you use and trust your voice, and that you share the love and the light and the hope of the world, and that you do not conform to the ways of the world. Because the further you go down that road, the more and more you will compromise yourself. The more you will compromise your truth. The more you will compromise the calling that God has really given you to do his work, to dig in his soil here on this planet. Okay, I love you. Thank you for letting me be early today. Stephanie, thank you for tagging Carrie. Hi, Carrie. I'd love it if you guys could tag a few of your friends on this, because normally you're used to me coming about 11 o'clock. But